Can a few seconds of a press conference change everyone's perception? Karoline Leavitt faced a major challenge during a regular press briefing. One question changed the energy in the room, and her response caused the entire situation to reshape. Karoline is not your typical politician. With her reaction, she showed that everything was different. What happened that made this moment change everyone's life? The press conference started as usual. Karoline Leavitt confidently approached the podium. Like everyone else, she was being carefully watched by the cameras and journalists in the room. Questions were asked in turn, and answers were given. This was a platform for discussing politics, wars, and international relations. With each answer she gave, Karoline was drawing the attention of the room. But no one knew what the most important question of the moment would be. The first questions were quite standard. Recent developments in American foreign policy, international agreements, the government's healthcare policy. Karoline answered calmly and confidently. But as the press conference seemed to be winding down, Karoline smiled and asked, "Don't you have a cross question today?" Suddenly, a journalist raised his hand to ask for permission to pose a question. This question was very different from the others. "Miss Leavitt," the journalist began, "as we all know, the U.S. government and the world's leaders continue to support Ukraine. But your wearing of the cross is seen by some as a political statement. How do you explain that? Are you really acting on your faith, or is it just for show?" Many journalists, wondering how to respond to an unusual question, noticed the sudden shift in the room's atmosphere. Karoline tried to remain calm, patiently looking into the journalist's eyes. Only a few seconds. But those seconds created tension throughout the entire room. The journalist asked the question loudly and sarcastically, and the eyes in the room turned, eagerly awaiting Karoline's response. Karoline calmly said, "Next question, please. This one is irrelevant," with no change in her tone. But the journalist wasn't finished. "Irrelevant?" He pressed louder, as if trying to provoke her into a discussion. "It seems pretty relevant to me," he added. "It looks like your cross is just for show." This time an audible gasp could be heard, sharp and quick, at the weight of his accusation. As the journalist repeated his question, Karoline's response would resonate like an echo from deep within a forest. Karoline took a deep breath, paused, and then slowly but firmly replied, "First, let me say this. The cross is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a symbol of my faith. For me, this is not something worn to show off, to stand out, or to influence others. This is truly something that belongs only to me. My faith and my love are independent of what others think." Karoline's words changed the atmosphere in the room. Many journalists put down their keyboards and silently looked at her. For a moment, they forgot the questions in their heads. Karoline's stance was as firm and unshakable as a mountain, but the journalist still wanted to add something. "The fact that you remain so calm and silent shows that your faith is just a mask. No one can be this humble. Are you really sincere, or is this just a political move?" he asked, his tone becoming sharper. Karoline took another step forward, gently lifting the microphone. Her eyes were fixed on the journalist's eyes. She stood so calmly and visibly that time seemed to slow down. "You really don't understand me," Karoline said, her voice patient and determined. "My faith is not measured by a cross worn outwardly. It lives inside me, somewhere in my heart. My values and my life are shaped by the meaning behind that symbol. The reason I'm standing here right now is so that the world does not darken with just one word from someone like you. I want to show not just appearing, but really what is true." This response caused all eyes in the room to turn toward her. No one knew what she would say next. Each of her words spread through the room like arrows. "Yes," Karoline continued, "faith is not just a cross or a symbol. Faith is about showing respect to others, teaching them what's right, and no matter how strong you are in life, it's about being able to pass that strength on to others. If this faith bothers some, I accept it as their problem," she said, looking directly at the journalist. The journalist opened his mouth to say something, but Karoline raised her hand to silence him because she wasn't finished, and she continued, "Honestly, what's most disgusting right now is you mocking this." She paused for a moment, then scanned the room one last time. "I'm saddened that just now you mocked something sacred," she added, her tone now serious but without malice. "But you haven't shaken me. My faith is as strong as it was yesterday, as it was the day before, and as it will be tomorrow because my faith is not built on your perceptions. It is built on love. After these words, the tension in the room began to ease rapidly. The journalists all had one question in their minds. Was Karoline Leavitt really standing up for what was right? It was clear that during this press briefing, Karoline did not just give a press statement, but created a moment that touched everyone's hearts. It was not just a cross or a piece of jewelry. Her faith resonated throughout the room. The silence in the room after Karoline's speech enveloped the entire atmosphere. Karoline Leavitt's faith was not just a piece of jewelry. It symbolized the greatest power a person can possess, the courage to show what they truly believe in. Everyone in the room thought about Karoline's words. This was not just a political speech. It was a call made in alignment with a person's faith. This moment went beyond just a press briefing and showed the real power of faith to people around the world. There is a person standing behind my faith, and that person will always speak the truth, Karoline said, looking into everyone's eyes. Because faith is not just something you have, it is a journey you live every day. And at that moment, Karoline's faith became not just a symbol, but a message that would spread across the world. Sometimes a press conference is not just for discussing an agenda item. Sometimes it helps you understand who a leader is, what they believe in, and what kind of person they truly are. Karoline Leavitt made a difference today with her faith. What about you? Can you stand behind the values you believe in? Share your thoughts with us in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. See you in the next video.